Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to my review of the nWo's The Revolution DVD. So yeah, let's get to it. Here we get the slide-on cover. Hopefully you guys can tell if the glare catches it, it's bossed. You can feel it. It's always cool to have the bossed flip covers. Here, the DVD, same thing as the cover. Slip cover, nWo logo, The Revolution, 3-disc set. Go to the side, nWo, The Revolution, 3-disc set again. Flip it over to the back. New World Order. Hope you guys can read it right there. Just can pause it and read it. Then we have Nash, Hogan, and Hall, packed with over 6 hours of special features showcasing Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and the rest of the nWo, including the Outsiders' invasion of Nitro, the shocking reveal of the third member of Bash at the Beach, the nWo's WWE debut, battles for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship and WCW Tag Team Championship, matches featuring Sting, Macho Man Randy Savage, The Giant, Roddy Piper, Harlem Heat, Steiner Brothers, and much more. Open it up. Here we have the SIG artwork. You can call this the New World Order of Professional Wrestling, brother. Here we have the night that the nWo was formed. You have Kevin Nash, Hogan, Hall, and Mean Gene. Right there, the formation of nWo, 7/7/96, Bash at the Beach, Daytona Beach, Florida. All the artwork on this DVD is so sick. I love it. Open up, and here are the features. Disc 1, From Stars Align all the way to nWo for Life. Those are the features of the documentary. Then from Scott Hall's Nitro debut all the way to the nWo's WWE debut. Those are all the features for these special features. So the documentary is real short. Disc 2 with the matches, and of course Disc 3 as well with the matches. Here we have Disc 1, Disc 1N, Disc 2 W, Disc 3 O nWo. And when you take out the discs, the artwork behind them, there's Hogan holding the WCW World Title. You have Hall, Hogan again with the title, and Nash. And lastly here you have Nash. And here, when you're nWo, you're nWo for life. Let's put this back. So no, yeah, like I said, all the artwork on this DVD is so sick. Alright, now to go over to the documentary. Honestly, if you know much about the nWo, then this really won't be any information that you haven't heard or seen of before. But if you have no idea what the nWo is, or you've briefly heard about it, then this is perfect for you. And honestly, the documentary for me went by fast. Now, this is an hour-long documentary, but I popped it in, and at one point, I just checked to see how long I had until it ended, and there were 5 minutes left. So, for me, it went by quickly. We started off the documentary with them talking about how NWA changed its name to WCW, how them hiring Bischoff was a good move because Bischoff would eventually create the nWo, and that would lead WCW to a great path. Then Superstar started to talk about how the nWo were a sort of revolution, and how most importantly they were something different, new. And at that point in time, wrestling was looking for something new, and they hit it out of the park with the nWo. Then you had Nash saying that WCW was really a bad brand, but with nWo they created a great brand. And Nash said that the nWo as a brand was considered cooler than WCW and the WWF itself. Then they started to introduce the fact that the Monday Night Wars began between WWF and WCW, and at that point in time, right when the war began, they were bringing in huge stars like Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, and then that would lead us to talk about Nash and Hall's, the fact that they were free agents. Hall and Nash didn't want to leave the WWF, but they weren't getting the right negotiations that they wanted from Vince. They wanted more money, they wanted more things, and Vince is like, you know what, I can't give that to you, I can't afford it. So they're like, you know what, we'll just go to WCW for the money. And even Hall said it. He's like, I felt like I sold out because I basically just went there for the money. So Nash and Hall went to WCW for for money because they couldn't get what they want out of Vince in the WWF. And then from that we would go over when both men debuted their debuts, and after that we go over the night where the nWo was formed. And during the match, Nash laid out Macho Man with low blow, and out of nowhere out came Hogan. Everybody popped. They're thinking, yes, Hogan's here to save the day, yes, we're all saved. But no, out of nowhere, when Nash and Hall left the ring, boom, Hogan leg drop onto Savage. There you have a heel Hogan, a guy that's been face for his entire career, now a heel. And even Jimmy Hart said it, he was managing Hogan at the time when he first came in, and he was getting booed because, they were giving him face Hogan, and at that time, face Hogan, we've seen that. We've seen that it's stale. We don't want that anymore. Now with the nWo, we have a heel Hogan. We have something new, something fresh, something we haven't ever seen before, something that, might become great as time develops. And it was, because, I think it was Matt Striker that said, you had little kids cry, basically their hero was taken away from them. And Hogan basically reinvented himself with the whole nWo. And then they started to go over how when the nWo started to become more bigger, more attention to them, more guys would join, guys like DiBiase. DiBiase joined there just to be the mouthpiece. Then you had Big Show, X-Pac, Virgil, and eventually Bischoff. And then from there on, more guys started to join as time went on. And they talked about, briefly, they went over the nWo black and white videos, how they were simple but effective. And then they went over how the nWo's attacks, they were doing in a live taping outside. It was an outside tape Nitro, and the nWo made an attack, and people around that neighborhood thought that it was a real attack. So basically you never knew if the attacks were obviously they were fake, they were scripted, but sometimes you didn't know whether they were real or not. And during the one of those attacks, they all called police and ambulances, thinking that there was a real gang war going on, because they thought it was legit war. Like, they thought a legit gang fight broke out. So in the middle of the broadcast, while the nWo was attacking, you had police and ambulances come because of the people calling them. So I thought that was pretty funny, how the people thought that the whole thing was actually legit. So then after that, they go over how eventually people loved the nWo so much that the nWo became its own brand, and now they were having the people choose whether you're here to see WCW or you're here to see the nWo. And also how it had how nWo had its own pay-per-view, and you had Nash pretty much shit on it, saying that it was a horrible idea, it should have never been done. So yeah, like I said, they're basically having them choose. You're either with nWo or you're with WCW. And after that, they go over it with the rivalry with Sting, and how Sting was basically WCW's last hope, the only hope it had to restore order. Then after that, it talked about nWo going mainstream and bringing in guys like Dennis Rodman, Karl Malone, Jay Leno, and that got WCW's mainstream notice and that popularity. Then afterwards, we go on to start discussing the Wolfpack going against the nWo, and how pretty much that itself was the downfall of the nWo. I think it was Dusty Rhodes in 09 who said, whenever the idea of the Wolfpack and the nWo came along, that's it, that was a downfall. Then after they discuss that, they go over, or like I was saying before I cut out, once they were done discussing the whole nWo against the Wolfpack, they talked about how in WWE they were trying to restore the nWo, but you just couldn't. nWo was something that was done completely new and different, that even if it's in the WWE, you just can't restore that, it just can't be done again. And yeah, and that was pretty much it for the documentary. And to close it, you just had a video recap of the nWo. So yeah, and that was pretty much it for the documentary. It was pretty short. And I just covered everything that I felt I needed to be covered. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty short, but again, it was good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, if you don't know much about the nWo, then I highly recommend you get this. It's good, but if you know much about the nWo, like I said, either it won't be any info that you haven't heard of, seen before. But yeah, I liked it. It wasn't all that bad. But yeah, guys, that concludes it for my nWo The Revolution review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Later, guys.